we understand the arrangement of the queries. We say select, right? Select column from table, right? Select columns from table. Don't forget that the column would also have the rows, right? But then it is the columns that we select from tables. So if you need to speak to a specific row or to a specific cell, then we can now use maybe the other clauses, to go straight to the particular cells that we want to talk about. We also in the last class also we also mentioned two important things: how to filter information, how to filter your data set in SQL, right? And we said that the clause used to filter, right, is the where clause, right? So we use the where clause to filter, right? Thank you very much. We use the where clause to filter, and then also to sort. We use the order by statement to sort, right? Order by statement, we use that to sort. And also we also added that each time the order by is used, right, it becomes important because sorting explains that sorting shows that you want to rearrange the data set in a particular order. That's what sorting means. Whether in SQL, whether in Excel, or whether in Power BI. That's what sorting means. Sorting means that you want to arrange the data set in a particular order, right? So that order can be in ascending order, right? Okay, my voice is breaking. Somebody says my voice is breaking. Please, I need some other persons to confirm if it is like that in their hand, right? Is it actually breaking in your at your own side? Please let me know so that
It's
I
okay.
can.
Oh. It's okay with me.
All right, sir. Okay, okay. Three people have said that it's not breaking. So maybe you want to check your internet, right? The person that said that it's not clear, right? Okay, another person said it's clear. Okay, thank you very much. So about five persons have said it's clear. So talking about sorting, right? Talking about sorting, there are in SQL, right? In data, right? In data management, right? There are three ways to sort. I explained this in the Excel class. If you can still remember, there are three ways to sort, right? We have text sort. We sort text. We have number sorts, and then we have date sort. Those are the three things that we sort in data management, right? And if you look at those three things also, you will also see that those are the three major data types or data formats that we have in data management. Every other ones fall within those ones. So if we are to sort, or if we are sorting a text, we can sort it either in ascending order or in descending order. So if you are using the order by, right, which is the the equivalence of sorting as to Excel, right? If you are sorting in SQL, you use order by. Then the order by is the order by will be accompanied by another clause called ascending or descending, right? And we talked about that in the last class. Ascending as in ASC, then descending as in DESC, right? Okay, let me share my screen and then so that we can see from the point we talked about it in that class, right? So we also have date sorting, right? We have number from largest to smallest, or from smallest to largest. So obviously we can understand that smallest to largest will be the same thing as ascending as well. Then largest to smallest will be descending, right? All right. So also we can sort date, right? We can also sort date, and if we are sorting date, it means we want to sort it in from earliest to later, right? Is that the word that I used in that class, in the Excel class? No, we can sort from oldest to newest or newest to oldest, right? either from oldest to newest or from newest to oldest. That's how we sort. That's how we sort. Please mute your system if you're just joining us. That's how we sort dates, right? And if it is newest to oldest, that's the same thing as ascending. And if it is oldest to newest, that would be descending, right? So that is order by, right? That we talked about, right? In that last class. Please, I'm sharing my screen. Please confirm if my screen is showing. Please confirm if my screen is showing.
It's showing, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Showing.
So thank you, sir. So this is where we were in the last class. So we quickly look at some statements to to understand this better, right? We looked at some statements to understand it better. Also in that class, we also talked about some basic operators, that are allowed in SQL. So basically, because we said where clause is used to filter, so it means that when you filtering means that you are trying to get to a particular data set, right? Yeah, you are trying to streamline, to break down what you are looking for in a very cumbersome data set to a specific, to a specific data, and then some operator needs to be used to get to where you are going to, right? And some of the operators, example of that operators are the equals to, right? The equals to we speak specifically, we get you exactly to where you are going to, right? We also have some other operators that works in ranges, right? Like greater than or equals to or greater than itself. We have less than, or equals to, right? And then we have some other ones. We have the between clause, we have the like clause, and we have the in clause. So these are the other clauses that we talked about in the last class. So also in the last class, we talked about how to alter your table. So you have created a table, right? Let me look for one of the tables we actually used in that class, right? You have created a table. Let's be okay. We are in the amplified database. So amplified database is what would be the same thing as for somebody who is in this class today. Adeyemo. Sorry, amplified database is what is, I don't know what we used in that class. Maybe you can quickly pick it. That's where we have the order table and the persons table, right? So you can quickly relate to that, right? So let's say for example now I say select all from persons, right? So if I say for example select all from persons, right? From persons, right? And then I execute this statement, and you can see that I have this. So alter means that if I want to alter this table, it means that maybe look at the columns in this table. We have PID, we have last name, we have first name, we have address, and we have city, right? So I realized that, oh, I still want to add one more column to it, which was not created with it when I started creating, this table. Then it means that what I want to do, because the table has been created already. So what I can do to it at that time is to alter it and bring in the new thing that I want to bring into it, right? So that's when we use the alter statement, right? And I said we use alter in three ways. We use the alter statement to do three things. We can alter to add a new column. You understand? So it means that maybe I want to have another column that speak to maybe employment date or date of birth, for example. So that's a new column, right? So I'm going to alter this table and add the date of birth, right? So I can also alter to delete. So if I want to delete it, I'm going to use alter to delete or alter to drop, right? The actual statement is alter to drop. But of course, what it will do is to delete, right? So, for example, now if I want to take this address away, so I realize that this address is not needed, right? So I will use the alter to drop to take this address away. And one other thing that I can do is that I can use the alter statement to do, right? Is to use it also to rename. That is like modifying the table, right? So I realized that this first name is not well spelled. I want to spell it appropriately, and I've created the table already. So I want to respell this first name. Maybe I want to put underscore between the first and the name. I want to include an underscore. So what I want to do is to modify that table, right? Or to rename that column. So I'm going to use alter to rename column, right? So we have talked about that, right? But we are still going to talk about it by the time we begin to deal with so many questions. So so those are the things that we talked about in that class. But then let's quickly talk about some other statements that we can quickly touch within 5 minutes, right? And that is there are three of them that looks very much alike, right? They look very, very much alike, and we need to understand what differentiates them, right? And that's one is the delete statement, right? We have a delete statement. We have another statement called the truncate table statement. So the delete statement, we have the truncate table statement, and we have the drop table statement. These are three different statements, right? We have delete statement, right? Truncate table statement, right? And then drop table statement. If you look at these words, they look like the same thing, right? But then they are not, in SQL, they are not the same thing. So now let's talk about them. Of course, we are understanding how SQL arrange structures its statements, so we'll be able to use them. So it's just to say, for example, we want to delete. To delete a statement means that to delete a statement means that you want to delete specific rows from the table, right? You want to delete specific rows from the table. For example, now I don't want this row 3 again that has all the rows that has Peterson, Carry, Storch, 20, and Stavanger, right? I don't want all of them again. I want to delete that particular row, right? I'm going to use the delete. Now, the delete statement, when I use it, it will not disturb the table, right? The table will still be there, but the row itself will be taken away. So at the end of the day, I'll be left with only 2 rows. So the table will still very much be available, right? So I can also, if I also say I don't want to delete now because I don't want to alter any of the rows in this place, right? So I will just say delete, right? Delete. If I say delete all from table, for example, something like this. If I say delete delete, right, all from persons, right, from persons. All right, I hope I spelled delete well. Yes, delete all from persons, right? If I say delete all from person, it is going to delete this particular. It's going to delete all of these rows. It will delete it away. Some people are finding it difficult to join. Please, I need to keep. They are chatting me personally. Sorry. All right. Some people are trying to join. Okay, so like I was saying, if I say delete all from persons, right, it's going to delete all the rows, right? All the rows. But if I want to delete this particular row, only this row 3, then it means that I won't say delete all, but I will do it, I will write it as though I want to filter, right? So I'm going to say delete from persons, then I'm going to filter. Don't forget the where clause is what I used to filter. Where maybe I can write something like this, where PID, right, is equals to 3. You understand? Now I am filtering it well, right? Delete from persons, from these persons, where PID, that is, look for where the person's ID is 3, which is A. So delete that row. You understand? So if I execute this this query now, it's going to delete this row 3 away from this. So that is what delete does, right? But truncate, the truncate statement is not going to delete only row, right? Truncate will delete the data in a table but keep the table, right? Truncate will delete the data in a table, right? So this is what it means. Delete is deleting the rows, right? All the rows will not exist. So at the end of the day, you only find that there are 1 and 2 rows. But truncate will delete the specific data inside the row. So for example, now, if I use the truncate statement to delete this particular row 3, right? The row 3 is still very much available. But the Peterson, the cow, the stuff 20, and the Stavanger in it will go off. So at the end of the day, I will still have the row 3, but I will have null, 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 null in that row. So it is the data in it that the truncate will take away, right? It will keep the row, it will keep the table, but it will delete the data in that table or data in that row, right? That is truncate. Then the last one is drop. Drop table is what we don't want to use. Drop table means that it will delete all the table. The table will not be in existence again, right? So the drop table will delete all the table. We'll use all of them, right, as we move, go ahead in our statement, right? Why is this still writing? Okay, equals to 3. Okay, it's correct now. All right, so that is the difference between delete, truncate, and drop, drop table statement, right? So I hope you get that. There are not much things to do at the moment on that. But let's move a bit, right, to stuff that are more important. All of these things we have talked about, the three of them, as we begin to deal with more, more to write more of these statements, we'll touch them. Now look at this particular side of it. We want to remember in our when we're doing our pivot table, right? We treat some questions that says that find the top 5 salesperson, right? Top 5 salesperson. I know you can remember, and we mentioned that also in Excel when we're doing our Excel and we're doing sorting and filtering. So where we're at, we needed to know the top 5th something or lowest 5th something, right? So we can do the same thing in SQL, right? But the clause that we use to achieve that kind of task, that kind of a task in SQL is called the top clause, right? And that's what we want to talk about. We have the top clause, right? And that clause is expressed by the clause, by the word limits, right? Now let's say, for example, now, right, look at this data set. Select all from persons. This is the persons table, right? This is the persons table. We want to see the top 2 persons. You understand? The top 2 persons, right? How do we achieve that? We want to see the top 2 persons. How do we achieve that? Which means that out of the 3 of them, it should only show us the people that has PID 1 and PID 2. Then it means that we are going to introduce the top clause. And how does that clause, how does it operate? So we're going to say select, right? Select select column. So let's say, what column do you want to select? Select PID underscore ID underscore ID, right? Select column, right? Select column from, what's the table name? From persons, right? Select column, select PID from persons. Then we'll now bring the word limit. What we want to get is the top 2, right? But the top clause will not show in the statement. What will show is the limit. So we'll now say limit, right? Limit it to 2, right? Or let's say select all from select all from persons, comment, select all from person, select PID, sorry, I'm coming, PID, all right, I'm wondering why it's giving the error. Anyway, I shouldn't give the error. Select PID from persons, right? Limit to okay. Select all. Let me look for other things that can work. Select all from persons. Limit p underscore id equals to 2. Obviously not this. Oh, sorry. I think it's because we didn't end this statement. All right. Select p underscore id, right, from persons. Sorry, it's because we didn't end this statement here. From persons, right? Then limit 2. All right, fantastic. So what I'm saying is that this is our data set, right? This is the table we want to select, but we want to select only these first 2 rows from it, right? So the statement is written in that pattern. Select, you mentioned, of course, you use the column of that table as a reference from the person from the table name, then limit to, we need only 2. Then I'm going to execute that. And if I execute that, you can see that you understand, I have just the 2 of them that I'm limiting it to. So what it means is that if I also say that select all, you also say that select all from person limit to 2, and I execute this statement, right? It's going to give me everything in it, right? And then limit it to 2. So in the other understanding, I can also select the actual columns that I want to see. For example, I want to say select last name, right? Select last name, right? Last name, comma, city, right, from persons, then limit to 2. So I've named what I actually want to see, right? I've named it in that, right? And if I execute this, I'm still going to get what I said that I want to see. So it's as simple as that. So that is how the top plot, right, works. And in the same manner, we can express it in terms of percentage, right? In terms of percentage. So let's say that how many are they? Okay, let's do something. Let's add one more let's add one more. I feel like adding one more row to that table so that will be 4, so that I can explain what I want to explain. But then let's go ahead. So that's how the limit function works in Excel. Don't forget the actual name of the clause is called top, but it is the limit statement that we use to express it. Now it is called top because SQL is not the only server that exists, right? SQL is just one of the servers, like we have explained. We also have the Oracle. Oracle is another server. So in Oracle and there's the other databases, right? In Oracle and the other databases, right? It is where we use limit. It is top that is being used in them. So for example, now if we are going to write this same statement in Oracle database, right? We'll say select last name, city from person top 2. You understand? it is only in SQL that the top is taken for limit, right? And that's why, and because we are doing SQL, that is why we are using limit, right? So in other database, there are just few things that varies, right? Just few things. Every other things follow the same pattern, right? But then we are using the SQL database, which is the common, which is a very popular database, and we are using the exa statement that we are studying the statement as it is accepted in the SQL SQL database. All right, so the next thing that we want to look at is called the wildcards, right? There's something we call wildcards in SQL, right? All of the things we are doing so far, all of the things we are trying to touch so far, the aim is to help us search, right, into the exact information we are trying to pick out from the database. That's the essence of doing SQL, right? For somebody who wants to do design dashboard and all of that, he can use the SQL to query the database and draw out all the needed data sets that he can now import, or rather export, into the visualization tools that I want to use. If you want to use Power BI, it can export it to Power BI to draw out the report, to draw out visuals. If it's interested in using Tableau or Looker, it can do that. Of course, it can also take it to Excel, right? If it's comfortable using the Excel, right, to run the analysis, right? But particularly SQL, if the aim is not to give a report, to draw dashboard and all of that, if that's not the aim, if it is just to look for something, like for example in an e-commerce, in a mall, right, in a retail organization, like let's say ShopRite, for example, one that is very closer to us, right? Somebody make a sales, right, maybe some 7 days ago, right? And then of course, after 7 days, a lot of people would have come into the mall to make purchases, right? In fact, that very particular day, it's possible that we have about 1,000 persons who have come into the mall, right? And we have 6 other days to make it 7 days, right? So a lot of people had made transactions. But this person comes to say that on this time, I make this purchase, right? So we want to look into the database and confirm that on that date that person made that purchase, right? So which means that we are trying to drive down into the exact information we are trying to get in the from the database. You understand? So that is the essence of understanding so many of these languages, so many of these statements that we can use to to query the database and say this is the exact thing I'm looking for. Now, wildcard, right, gives us the avenue to search the database even when we are not so clear. We don't have the 100% clarity of what we are looking for. For example, now, you have, for example, let's say that, let me return to say select all from, let's see the persons table again. Select all from persons, right? Right? So these are persons table. Where is it? Persons. Right? These are persons table. Now, I want to see the people that live in a city, right? I want to see the people that live in a city called Sunnet. Please follow me. But I do not understand how Sunnet is spelled. Are you following me? I want to see the people living in Sunnet, right? Maybe the task is to, okay, let's look for the people that live in that city. Let's look for all the people that live in that city called Sunnet. But I'm a data analyst. It is not compulsory that I have to understand how everything is spelled, right? So I don't know how they spell Sunnet. Maybe it is SoundNet, SOUNDNES, or it is Sunnet. I'm not so sure, right? Because I don't stay in that city, right? Or if it is even a remote job that I'm taking, right? And then I'm so query the database that's going to tell me the people that live in New Jersey, and I don't really know how New Jersey is spelled, right? So SQL has a way where it will permit us to write what we know, right? And it will use that understanding, to search for what we might be looking for. And that technique is where the white card comes in. So wildcard basically means missing letter. You understand? That's what wildcard means. It means missing letter. So all I need to understand is at least one alphabet in that set of alphabets, one alphabet in it, right? Once I can recall one alphabet, then I will be good to go to understand all the remaining ones, right? So in SQL, there are basically 4 wildcards, right? In SQL, right? So I'm going to do something now. I'm going to screenshot those 4 types of wildcard. I'm going to screenshot it on the WhatsApp group for us now so that we can see it from there, right? There are 4 wildcards in SQL. We have the percentage, wildcard. We have the underscore wildcard, and then let me just look for it and send to us. SQL Union. Okay, I'll drop it on our WhatsApp now. Okay, I'm closer. All right. So I'm gonna do a screenshot and then send to us. All right. All right. So I just sent it to the group. I believe everyone is in the group, right? All right. So like I said, there are 4 wildcards in SQL, right? The wildcards are, I've sent it to our WhatsApp so that we can have it. But we have this sign, what that we call percentage, is a wildcard, right? The underscore also is a wildcard, and I'm going to explain to us how they are used, right? We have another one called written as this. We call it car list, right? Car list is also, right, a wildcard like this, and lastly we have another one, right, called written as this. Where is my, okay, car list, right? This, and this particular one that I've just written can also be written as exclamation mark car list, right? All right. So these are what we call wildcards, right, in SQL. Now let's see how it works, right? I was trying to give a scenario. Now look at this particular table we have, right? I want to see all the people that live in, all the people that live in Sandnet, for example, right? Sandnet. But I remember that it actually starts with SA, right? But I don't know how to spell it. But I know that SA is in the spelling, and I'm sure that FA starts the spelling, right? So I'm going to use the wildcard to tell SQL that, see SQL, I understand what I'm looking for, right? I know that the first letter of what I'm looking for is S, and the next alphabet is A, but the rest I don't understand it, right? In that case, where what you are the letters you are omitting, you are missing that you can't recall. In that case, where it is many, then we use the percentage wildcard. Don't forget that I said wildcard means missing letters. So it means that after I can recall S, I can recall A, I can recall NGNES. So there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 characters, 5 letters that I can recall. So in that case, where what you can recall are many, you are sure that it is many, right? We use the percentage character. And then the statement will be written like this. Don't forget, what I want to do is to look for all the persons that live in the city called Sadness. So I'm going to say select all from persons, right? Select all from persons, right? Now I will now say where, because I want to, what I'm looking for is the people that live in city. So I want to filter it by city. So the people that live in Sadness. So I want to use the city to filter it. So I will say where city, right, is equals to, you understand? Where city is equals to, now don't forget, I can only recall A, right? I can only recall A. I cannot recall the others. So I'm going to say where city equals to SA. You understand? Then I'll put the wildcard to say after that SA, there are still some other things that I can't recall, but you have to take me like that. You understand? But then because we are writing text, don't forget the rule. We have to put it in this double apostrophe, or we use the single, right? Yeah, you can see. Now, if I write this statement for my SQL to say that I want to select everything from that table called persons where the city is SA, right? But then everything that has the city starting with SA, it will filter it out for me. You understand? So obviously you can see from this and from this statement, this ST will not be part of what I want to write, right? So if I run this at the end of the day, then I should have only the people that their city is Sadness from that yes. All right. So it's not giving me it should give me people that start with SA. Hold on. All right, sorry. When using wildcard, please don't mind me. When you using wildcard, right? Don't use equals to, right? The wildcard goes with the another clause that we have not talked about. Is called the like clause. You understand? Don't forget that we said that in the case of where clause, we say the where clause will always, and the other by clause will always be followed by the ascending and the descending. The same way it is in when you are using a wildcard, right? So if we are using a wildcard, right, because we are not certain of what we are looking for, so it becomes difficult for us to use equals to. We can't use equals to because equals to will take us to an exact value that we are looking for. What we can rather do is to compare, be like we are comparing. So we are saying that select all from person where the city is like this, right? Where the city is like this. That is, the city has SA to start the character, but there are some other things that continue, right? I hope we can balance what I just changed in that. So if I run this now, it should give me what we are looking for, right? So you can see now that now I'm seeing the people that that live in the city called Sadness by that simple statement. Once again, I'm saying that wildcard simply means you want to permit some missing letter, right? And there are 4 wildcards in SQL. These that I've listed here on line 137. Now, the first one we are picking is the percentage wildcard. And we are saying that the percentage wildcard is used when you have multiple text missing. That is, the text that is missing is not just one. So we can use the wildcard to say that, please, I know what I'm looking for, but I'm not certain of the spelling, but I know this spelling is starting with this spelling, right? It's starting with this alphabet. So you will use the wildcard to say that it continues. The same thing we have done here. So I say select all from persons where the city. Now I also said that when you're using wildcard, you don't use equals to, because equals to simply means that you already understand what you are looking for. No debate, right? You know the exact word you are looking for. So we don't use the equals to. we use the like that can permit, that can permit the debate that I'm not very sure, right? It just looks like what I'm looking for looks like this. That is, it has SA, then some other alphabet continues afterwards, right? So this is how it works. In the other way, right? Let's say now I want to see only the persons that all start his name. You understand? I want to see the information of the row of that person that O starts his own first name. O is what starts his own first name or last name. I don't know how it will be on your own system, right? I think it should be first name should be this. I mean, I want to see the person where O is what starts his name, right? So I'm going to say select from that same explanation that I've given, select all from persons, right? I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to want somebody to do something for me after this. So please get prepared. Select all from persons where first name, right? Where first name is like, don't forget, wildcard goes with like, is like. So I know O, but I do not know I can't remember the remaining. So it's like this. It has O, right? It has O, but I don't know the rest. You understand? And I'm going to close it, right? So if I run this, of course, you know what it will give me. So I said select all. So it's going to give me everything in it, right? Everything in it, right? And I'm going to run it, and then I should have that, right? I should have that. All right. So that is how the wildcard works. So I need somebody to do this for me. Let's do select all from person first. All right. So I want to know I want to see the information of the people, right? The information of the people 20 in their address. Who wants to try? I want to see the information of the people that have 20 in their address. Who is volunteering to try this for us? Anybody? Of course, from this, you should understand that I want to filter with the address, right? We want to use the address to filter, right? But this time around, we want 20 to be there, right? So I'm going to say select all from persons, right? Select all from persons, right? Where, of course, we are still keeping it simple using words that we can easily relate with. Where address is like, right? Is like how? Where address is like, now you want to find,
It's
we are
like
saying that,
ST.
yes, it's like what?
ST.
Don't forget that I don't know ST, right? The only thing I know is that there is 20 in that address. It's different from city that I used the other time, that what I know is SA, which is the starting alphabet. The rest I don't know. This one, what I don't know, what I know is at the end. Can you see? Can you see the difference between this one and the other one that we did? What I know is at the end.
Yes.
So how do we now write it? So it means that what is missing, don't forget that the percentage wildcard is supposed to fill the missing, right? It's supposed to fill the missing alphabet, and the missing alphabet is coming before what you know. So definitely I'm going to say that. Do you understand it now? That is what I don't know, right? So to say that there are some things, there are some alphabet that I don't know, but I know that at the end there is 20 at the end, something like this. Before I run it, can you look at it and try to understand what is there?
It's kind of confusing, yeah.
Yeah. So look at the other one that we did. Look at the previous one we did for this particular one. We say select all from person
Okay.
where city is like SA. Now in this case, look at it. What we know is SA, right? We actually want to say where the city is
Yes.
Sandnes. But we know SA, we do not know NDNES, right? So because what we know comes
Yes.
first, we'll write what we know. The other part that we don't know, we'll now substitute it with that white card. Do you understand it now? That is why at the end of the day, we
Yeah.
have SA, then the white card. But if you look at the last one we are doing now, you will see that what we don't know is what comes first. It is only 20. That is the number of the house, right? I'm only sure that the 20 is the number of the house, but the name of the street that comes first, I do not know. So which means that the missing letter comes first before what I know. Do you
Okay.
understand it, Mr. Godwin?
Okay.
Yes. So which means that because the missing letter comes first, right? Because the missing letter comes first, then I'm going to say use the percentage white card to say that there are some missing letter before what I know, which is now 20. So that's why this particular one is like double apostrophe percentage and 20. So if I run it, if I put the semicolon and I execute this statement, then I have, I've filtered the information. Apart from Mr. Godwin, do we understand? Any other person? Any other person? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go to Awesome Chocolate. Everyone has imported Awesome Chocolate, right? So I'm going to go to Awesome Chocolate database, right? And let's look at our table. So let's pick from the sales table now. Let's use something from the sales table to, to do something. Select all from sales. All right. No. I'm not using sales table. Let's use select all from geo. Let's use people. Let's use people. Right. I hope I spell it well. People. All right. All right. Now let's say I want somebody to um to do this for me, right? Out of the sales people, right? There is someone whose name is somebody that has the name. There's somebody that has the name OB something, right? There's somebody that has the name OB something out of the salesperson. Now, I don't know the rest of the name. I know that there is OB in his name, right? OB, and the OB is spelled OB is the name of the person, and he has a surname. Just like we have Bar Funny, this guy, or Gigi Bollins, right? So we have OB something. But I know that the first name is OBY. I do not know the rest of the name. Now, I want to bring out the team and the location of that person from this sales table. How do I write the statement? How do I create the database to give me the name of that person? The name, I need the salesperson, the team it belongs to, and the location from the sales table. How do I do that? Who is trying something? Let me even see the people in the class. It's like nobody's responding in the class. Are we getting it? Hello, are we here? Are we
Yeah, I'm
getting
trying
it?
to. I'm trying to see.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to work out some.
Okay.
Just that I don't have SQL here with me, so I'm just trying to see I can decode something.
Okay. Don't forget the name of the person is OB something. I want to get the salesperson, the name of that person, right? The salesperson, the team it belongs to, and the location from this table, right? So because I'm not sure what the full name is, I'm only sure of the first name, which is OB, spelled as OBY. So obviously using the wildcard, the wildcard is going to help me to bring it out. So I'm just going to say select. I want to see the name of the person, right? The salesperson. Select salesperson, right? Comma. I want to see the team it belongs to. Team. I want to see the location, right? Location from what's the table name? From sales, right? From sales, right? On eyes, I like to write. I like to give it space. From sales, then let's now filter it where salesperson, right, is like, right, O, right, is like OB, but then I don't know the other part of the other name, so I'm just going to use the white card to say that it still continue. Very simple. Do we get it? Select person, or for these are the things that I want to see. I want to see the person's name, I want to see the team, I want to see the location. That's the reason for writing all of this. So select salesperson, select the team, select the location from the table name, salesperson. Now I want to filter it to the exact thing that I'm looking for, right? So I'll say where this salesperson, right? The salesperson is like this name. So if I run this now, it should give me the exact person, right? It's saying there is unknown salesperson in field list, right? Let's see, did we not spell salesperson very well? Oh, sorry, is in people's table, not sales table, right? People's table, can we see? It is under people's
And
table.
for the
You thought as much,
sorry,
right?
sir. Sorry, sir. The
So I'm going to
OBU.
change that to people.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, so the OB, I think you wrote OBY.
Yeah, that's how it is spelled.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, let me put up my camera. Okay, that's how it is spelled, OB. But then to clear all doubts, doubts, right? Where is my SQL? Oh, my SQL is out. Can you see my screen? Please, what are you seeing on my screen? Please, somebody.
It's your desktop.
Oh, sorry, my
Your
SQL is out. All
on the
right.
desktop.
Please let me relaunch my SQL. Okay, somebody is raising up the hand. Adeyemo. Please ask the question.
Yeah, I can't see your screen.
Okay, yeah, it's coming up. It went off. I'm just reloading it again.
All right, all right.
All right, it should be up by now.
Yes, it's up now, sir.
All right, thank you. So number one, what we did before is that we are picking it from this people's table, not the sales table. Now you are saying that OB is spelled okay. We are not sure if it's actually Y or I for the OB. So let's just take the Y away. It will still work. You understand? So if I run this, if I execute this, then I should have, yes, you can see now we have OB Sorel. This is the team and this is the location of OB Sorel. right? So that is how the wildcard actually works. So what I'm saying in essence is that the wildcard helps you to identify a particular data that you're looking for when you're not sure of the other, the other spelling that completes the word. Now we also have the underscore wildcard, right? The underscore wildcard, can only deal with single omission. You understand? Can only deal with single omission. Let me return to our amplified database. Right? Let me return to our amplified database. Can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let me return to our amplified database where we have the persons table, right? Select all from person. Okay. Let's do this. So this, okay. Now I want to see the person that lives in the person. I want to see the information about the person whose first name is Carrie, as in this row, right? The first name is Carrie, but I cannot really spell Carrie very well, right? I know that there is K, but the letter after K, I don't know. Are you with me? I know that there is K, but the letter after K, I don't know. I know that R also follow, right? But the letter after R also, I don't know. So you can see that what I don't know is just one alphabet, something like this. So I'm going to say select all from persons. I'm on this persons table now, right? Select all from persons, right? Where first name, where first name is like this, where first name is like, look at it, right? It has K, but I don't know the next alphabet. I'm going to use the underscore to say, there is an alphabet I don't know. You know, the way we use, is that how we use underscore in normal English? I'm not sure. Okay. So there's an alphabet I don't know. That alphabet is called, I don't know the name, of course. But I know that after the alphabet that I don't know, R follow, right? Then after that R, the next thing I don't know also. So I'm going to use underscore again. Are we there? And then I'm going to close the double apostrophe, right? And end of my statement. You can see. So we use the underscore wildcard if the missing letter is just one. I mean, one single missing letter is what is missing. After that one single letter, you know the next letter. That is when we use the underscore wildcard. Unlike the percentage wildcard, that if you don't know several letters, just put the wildcard. It will look for the word for you. So this, if I run this particular one, if I execute it, then it's going to give me, you can see now, this is the first name. So I know K, I don't know A. I know R, but I don't know I, right? So I use the underscore wildcard, to express those missing alphabets. So that is how the underscore wildcard, that is how it works, right? Then the other wildcard is called the character list wildcard. We call it car list, right? Car list, right? And then this particular wildcard is used if you want to okay, let's say now, let me write it out for you in a single statement so that we can quickly relate with it, right? We have, the name is called car list, right? Car list. That's the name of the white card. Car list white card. Okay, somebody is raising hand. Please, you can let me hear you. Somebody is raising hand. Okay, nobody is raising hand. I think he has raised the hand before. He has not dropped it. Okay. So we want to see the card list. So let's say now we want to select the person with a last name, right? That start with we want to let's say select all from person before then. This I'm coming. Select all from persons, right? Let's see the person table, how it looks like. Right. Okay. Now we want to select the person with the last name that starts with B, or no, the last name that starts with S or P. Are you following me? We want to select this time around, the one we've been doing before when we're using the percentage wildcard. We are only looking for one thing at a time. The person that come from the city, sadness, right? Or the people that come from the city, sadness. That's the only single thing we were looking for. But this time around, I want to look for the person that has the last name. The last name starts from S, or the person that the last name starts from P. Two different highlights at the same time, right? So in this case, if you have two or more highlights that you want to look out for per time, we use the car list. You understand? To say something like this: select all, okay, from what's the table name? Of course, it's persons. From persons, where last name is like this. Is like, look at how I'm going to write it. Where last name is like, right? I want to select person that the last name has S, but I don't know the rest of the word. You understand? If I'm looking for this particular Vincent now, right? I only know S. I don't know the rest of the word. Of course, you know that I'm going to say where the last name is like this. I'm going to write S, and I use wildcard. This particular wildcard, right? This particular wildcard to show that there are other things that I don't know. Something like this, right? Just watch me. This will filter only Vincent for me, right? Okay. But this time around, I'm not just looking for Vincent. I want to see the person whose last name starts with S, or the last name starts with P. But in both cases, I don't know the rest of the words, the rest of the letter that complete the spelling, both for the S and for Peterson. You understand? So I'm going to use the car wildcard, to express myself better. And I'm going to write it in this form. I'm going to put the car wildcard, right? And then I'm going to put the first alphabet that starts all of them. Like I'm looking for S, and I'm looking for S, and I'm looking for P. You can see now, I'm going to close the wildcard, right? So this is the character list. These are the list of the character that I want to filter out, right? But then for both of them, I am not sure of the rest of the spelling. So without understanding, I'm going to come back to put my percentage in front of it. You understand? To show that what I've written here is just their first alphabet. What complete those alphabets, I don't know, right? And I'm going to close it with my second apostrophe. You can see now. So this time around, if I execute this particular statement, it's going to give me the people that have the last name, right? That have their last name starting with either S or P.
Or P.
That we don't know the rest of the alphabet. That is the essence of this percentage A. Don't forget that the percentage wildcard, we treat omissions that are more than one. You understand? Unlike underscore that can only treat one omission per time. So if I execute this, right, it's supposed to give me S and like that. So let me see what's happening. Why is it not giving me that? Right? Could it be because I use small letter, which is obviously not going to be, right? BS, that, and then That's select all from persons where last name. Select all from persons. This is a persons table that we are. Where last name, this is last name, is like this, right? It's like this. We have the wildcard B, S, and P. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So it shouldn't give us that error. So we are saying that S we know, P we know, but we do not know what completes it, right? Which is the reason why we are putting that percentage after it. Okay, let's come back to put it here. Then let's put it inside it, right? Inside it. Though I don't expect it to work, but let me just try it with it. Inside this place, like this, right? So let me run it like this. Of course, I do not expect it to work either. What if I put this here? All right, so obviously it can't be there. So all right.
It's not in double apostrophe.
Yeah, it can be. Don't forget, I said that in SQL you can use either single apostrophe or double apostrophe.
Okay.
It is only in Excel that you must use the double apostrophe. All right. All right. Let's see the table how it looks like again. All right. We are saying select all from persons, yes, where last name is like, we're using last name, so this last name is like this. The wildcard, S and B. Okay, let me take them for each other again like this, though it shouldn't mean anything. All right, I know it's not gonna work. Okay, so but then that is how that is what the character list wildcard is used for. So it's used to select. Sorry, let me take this percentage away and put it outside. Right. Right. Still, yeah, it's not working. Okay. So so we are saying that the character.
But that SP looks as if it's the same word you are trying to look. Is there nothing to separate the S and P as if you are listing them?
No, it works together.
Okay.
Like putting comma, right?
Yeah, something like that.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. So it's actually together, right? It's actually together. So writing it to writing the first alphabet means that writing the alphabet in the first place means that we are talking about the alphabet that we know. Of course, having the percentage wildcard at the end of it means that after the alphabet that we know, there are some things missing. There are some things missing. All right. So if there are reasons why it's not running, I'll look for it. Maybe we can discuss it in the next class. But then this is how the character list wildcard, that's how it works actually, right? So we will it will help us to focus on two or more things at the same time. Imagine we have the data set that is longer than this, right? Imagine we have the data set that is longer than this, and then we want to filter last names that start with let's say we are trying to look for name that start with O, name that start with P, and the name that start with S. You understand? So this wildcard, we don't need to know the rest of the spellings, right? Wildcard will actually help us to filter it better. Now the last wildcard, right, which is the one that has exclamation mark, is the direct opposite of this very one that is not working, right? In this case, in the case of this one that we are doing, we are saying that select all from persons where last name is like, you understand, it's like SP, but then the rest of the alphabet that we don't know. So in the case of the exclamation wildcard, the last one, we are saying that it is not like, for example, now let me look at this. Let's look at the table again. So we have this table. So the last one that we did, this particular one, we are saying that we want to pick out the information of the people that their last name is S and P, right? But this time around, if I use the other one, let me write it out. Select all from persons, right, where last name, right, usually it should be like, right? But then what I want to write is where the last name is not like S and P. You understand? It's not like this. It's not like where the last name is not like this. So there's nothing like, there's no clause that should represent not like in SQL. But we use the other character list and the other character and the other wildcard to now explain it. And it's going to be like this. It's like, right? I open it, but I'm going to use, don't forget that in whether SQL, Excel, and or Python, this exclamation mark is trying to explain not equals to. Don't forget that. Do you remember how we used to write not equals to in Excel, right? We use the exclamation mark to write it. You understand? So we are saying that is not equals to, is not like S and then that P. Those are the character list. Then with the percentage. You understand? Right? And then select all from persons where last name is like, but not particularly not like this. Is like this particular way we are writing it. Yeah. So like this, it should run. But then I guess there should be something wrong with all of this stuff somewhere, right? That I need to.
Sir, I guess somebody's in the lobby, sir.
Okay. Let me quickly look for that person. There is none in the lobby. Okay, sorry.
Just drop a message that he was waiting for.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah. So now with this one that I've written, is not running, of course, maybe the same reason why this other one did not run. But then what is actually explaining is that this first one that is here is saying that we just want to look for, we want to filter our search, right, to the people that has their last name start with S and P, but we do not know the rest of the spelling, which is the reason why we have this percentage. And this other one is saying that is if we didn't pick these two, which we have actually explained here, what will remain? It means every other one except these two. You understand? If these ones, this statement here, this clause here means these two, then this one means not these two. So the expectation of this statement is to show us only row 1. You understand? If this means that we meant it to show us these two, then this particular one that has this not equals to should show us this. But then the statement it didn't run. So I need to look at the reason why it didn't run and then maybe present it to us in the next class, which is supposed to be our final class on SQL, right? But then based on what I'm seeing here at the moment, there isn't any reason why this should not run. Oh, I didn't end the statement. Right, that's the reason I didn't end the apostrophe. So basically, if I run this, it should give us, only unseen, right? It should give us only that row that has unseen. But then what actually transpire, I will get that in the next class and explain to us. But then those are the 4 wildcards that we have in SQL, right? We have the percentage wildcard, we have the underscore wildcard, we have the card list wildcard, and we have the what do we call the other one? The not card list wildcard. Now the next thing I want us to talk about is called alias in SQL. There's something we call alias in SQL, right? Alias spelled the same thing alias means in English. You understand? When they say somebody is alias, it's like you are giving a nickname, right? So in SQL also, we can also give a nickname, right? And how alias works is that we want to give a particular name that is not in the database. We want to give it to a particular, outcome that we are trying to get. Let me do it in an example so that we will understand. Let's look at this. Let's get to the awesome chocolate database, and let me look for what I can use to explain it. Right? Let's see how. Let's see the people's table again. All right. Okay. I want to select the people that belongs to the juices group. You understand? I want to select the people that belongs to the juices group, for example, right? That is the team is juicy. But I don't want to, I want to call the name. You know that the column here is showing juicy. Okay, let me write it for us. I want to see the people that belong to the juices group. So I'm going to say select all. Let's say select all from people. Is a people's table from people, right? Where this is without the alias now. Where team is equals to where the where is not well spelled. Where team is equals to juices, right? Now, this is we want to see every person that belongs to the team called juicy, right? If I execute this statement now, I should have people that belongs to juicy. What's juicy in where clause? Is it that we didn't spell it well? I'm coming. Juices. Select all from people. What's that it gives us? Unknown column juices in where clause. Unknown column juices in where clause. Select all from people, right? Select all from people where team equals to juicy. Thank you. I didn't put the double apostrophe, right? That's right. All right. So these are the people in the juicy team. Now, I want to bring alias to it. Those people in that juicy team, if you look at all these column name, you will see that it writes salesperson for their names. It writes SPID as this. It writes team for their team, right? But then I don't want it to write okay, look at this. Let's now write it as this. I say select salesperson, right? Comma, team. Look at what I'm writing, comma, location. These are the things that I want to see, right? From people's table, from people, right? Where team where team equals to juices, where team equals to juicy, right? Look at what I'm going to get. I'm not using the alias yet, right? So I do
The spelling of that word is wrong.
the spelling about where. I don't know why I keep writing where like this, all right? Where, all right, where, all right. Thank you, sir. So semicolon, and I run it. Yes, it gives me the salesperson, teams, and the location. Now, this salesperson, I don't want it to write salesperson there, right? I know that it is salesperson that is recognized in the database, but I want to create a temporal name for that observation that by the time it's going to give me the outcome, don't write salesperson where salesperson is supposed to be. Right? Maybe I want to use names, right? Names. So instead of the salesperson, then I'm going to introduce something you call a clause we call alias. You understand? So the alias is going to temporarily substitute the name I want to substitute to the new one that I want to write. And the word we use to represent alias in SQL is AS, right? So I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to say select salesperson as, you can see that as is already seeing it as a keyword in SQL. So I'm saying select salesperson as names. You understand? That is, by the time you call it out, the name of that salesperson, or let's call it sellers. Sellers, right? Sellers. Yes, I don't want to use name because name is another keyword, but then there will be nothing wrong with it if I use it. So I'm saying select salesperson as sellers, then the team, then the location from people where team equals to this. So if I run this, at the end of the day, I should have sellers in place of the salesperson. So this seller that is here is called alias. You understand? That is just a name that I want to temporarily use to represent, every other names that I want to use to represent a particular column. Instead of writing the actual name that is identified in the database, just use this name to represent it temporarily. You understand? If I'm done with this particular statement now and I need to run, if I come back to run, select all from person, that name will not be there again. Select all from is it people? From people. So if I want to say everything from people now and I execute it, you can see that it has gone. It's just temporary. It's not changing it from the database. It's just going to change it on the outcome that I want to get. So that is how alias work in SQL, right? So I'm just mentioning all of those things together. By the time we'll begin to use all of them, we'll be querying database so that we'll know what to use by the time the question says do this and do that and all of that, right? So, and lastly, the last thing I'm going to mention today, right, before I now I want to give a note on that alias so that we can quickly relate with it, right? Where did I put it? Alias. All right. So I want you to write so that you can put in your note if you need to jot that SQL alias, an alias name can be given to a table or column. Okay, I've said it in the word, so there's no point. It is a temporary name given to a table or a column. So that's what it means, right? The same way I have applied it to a column now to change this salespersons to sellers, I can also apply it to a table, right? So everything is fine. So we can go ahead. So the last thing that I want to talk about for this particular class, before I'm trying to put it together so that by the end of the day, I'll be able to give a task, something like a task in this class. Even if you cannot run it in this class, we'll be able to come back in the next class and then start with it, do it as correction and be familiar with them before we now treat the very last thing that I'm intentionally keeping for that last class, right? It is called joins in SQL, join in SQL. And it's a very major area of SQL that we need to understand. Right, and that's what we're going to end the class with, then solve several questions. Now, what we want to pick in this particular class is called functions in SQL. Don't forget that we have functions in Excel, right? If you want to sum, if you want to find the total of something, You can use function to find the sum, right? In SQL also, we have functions. So in the three key modules that we are treating, Excel, SQL, and then Power BI that we're going to start, later. We have function in SQL. In Excel, we have talked about it in our Excel class. We have that same function in this SQL class that we're going to talk about now, and that same function we also have it in Power BI. But in Power BI, it is not called function. It is called another name. We call it DAX, D-A-X, Data Analytics Expression. But then we'll talk about it by the time we get into Power BI. Now, function in SQL, I'm not going to give so many stories because of our time, but the same way it goes, right? Let me give a question. Let's see this particular, still under awesome chocolate. Let's see this sales table now. Let's see this sales table and pick a scenario from there. Select all from sales. From sales, right? Okay. Now, look at the if you look at this table, this is the salesperson, this is the location, this is the ID of their location, this is the ID of the product, this is the sales date, the date that this sales was made, right? But this is the amount of goods sold. Can you see? This is the amount of goods sold. So on this date, this amount was sold. On this date, this amount was sold. Don't mind that they are all the same thing anyway, but then it's just this is a text environment, right? So on this date, this amount was sold. On this date, this amount was sold, and like that. And so many stuffs were sold at the end of the day. Now I want to sum all of them together, the total amount. I want to sort the total amount that was sold at the end of the day, right? I want to sum it together and know the actual figure. So you can see that this is like we are going to be doing mathematics the same way it used to be in our Excel class, right? And that's where the Excel function comes in, right? So how do I do that? I want to know the total amount sold. And of course, you already understand how SQL statement is being patterned, right? We'll say select column from table. Then the other things like the where clause, the group by, the order by, and all of that will now come in, to help us filter it better, right? But the keyword is to select something, is to select columns from the table. So now I want to know the total sum, right? I want to know the total sum. So I'm going to say select, then I want to sum the amount, right? I'm going to say select. Maybe I want to pick some other things with it. Okay, just want to sum the amount. I'm going to say select, then the function sum. You can see that there's a function and it's already asking, what am I summing? I'm going to open the bracket and say sum amount. You can see some amount from, what's the name of the table? Some amount from is a sales table, right? From sales. And that's all. That's all, right? Select. I'm supposed to select amount. If I actually want to say amount, or better still, let me break it down so that it doesn't confuse us, right? I want to see the amount, only the amount. This column, I want to see this column, right? From this table, only this column, right? I can come here to say select amount from sales, right? And if I run it, it's going to give me only the amount. But what I want to do with that amount is not just to see the list of the amount. I want it to sum it together. Then I can come and put the function, the exact function that I want to do. I can come and put it behind it to say that sum the amount. Don't just show me the amount as a list. Sum it together from that table. And if I run it, it's going to sum all of them together. So this is the total amount sold, in the whole of that transaction. You can see how we have actually done that, right? So that's it. That's an SQL function. So there are so many SQL functions. Somebody wants to say something?
Yeah, I say it sounds like sum of amounts.
Thank you, sir.
From
They sound like
sales.
sum of amount. So the same way, with the same idea of what we're doing in Excel, right? It's still the same thing we bring here. It's just to know how to position them appropriately. So look at it. Let me go back to that. Let me go back to that list. So let's say now I want to count, you know, this number of rows here, right? This number of rows. This SPID, you know, there are plenty down. If you go down, there are plenty. So I want to count all of them. How do I count it? With this same function, right? So I'm going to break it down. I will not do it rushingly. I'm just going to break it down the same way I did for the sum. If I want to see the list of that SPID, I will just say select SPID, right? SPID from what's the table name? Sales, right? From sales. Then I'm going to put the semicolon and execute it. So it gives me everything, but I want to count it. I don't want it to give me as a list. I want to count it. So it's the same way we do count, right? In SQL, I'm saying that count it for me. Count the SPID for me. And if I run it, it has done the count. So we have the number of rows that we have in there is 7,617 rows. You understand? So we have SQL functions also, just like we have Excel functions. So they are the same way we have so many functions in Excel. We have so many functions also in SQL, right? All those count, marks, lim, length, all of those functions that we have in SQL, we have them. All of them work, and that we have in Excel. All of them work the same way in SQL. But there are just few ones that has, you know, another name they call it. For example, I remember that in some of our classes in Excel class, I used the unique function, right, to show distinct values, right? To show distinct value. That is, I don't want it to repeat a name twice. So I'll use the unique to cut it. Once it has selected one, that's enough for that list, right? In SQL, the unique function is not there. What was the unique function in Excel is called distinct in SQL. Distinct. That is select distinct instead of select unique, as the case may be, right? So there are just few ones that the names it is called is different, but they are not so major. They are not so many, right? So, but majorly, the same way we call them, sum is sum, mean is mean, mode is mode, sorry, average is average, not mean, right? You know, it is also called average in Excel. So it's also called average here in SQL, right? Count is still count. You understand? Maximum is still max. Minimum is still min, right? So I'm going to give us a list of so many SQL functions, right? Maybe I'll send it to the group chat, right? So that we can see some of these functions. But then functions also work in SQL. Function also work in SQL, right? So I'll quickly rush through all of these stuff because the actual task that I want to give us, there are some part of it that talks about the function that this function. There's some part of it that talks about the alias. But then I just want to give it to us. I've explained it this way. Please, let's take our time to go through it and try to attempt it, right? Like I used to say, right, we understand something better if you have attempted it. If you attempt a task and you didn't get it, right, you have actually understood it, because by the time we come back to treat it as an assignment, as a correction, then what you didn't get, what you tried to do that you didn't get right, can easily stay right on our head that way, right? So I'm going to give us that task, and it has these functions, right? Not big functions, just sum and count, maybe distinct also, a few ones, and it has alias. It has a place where we may need to use alias anyway, and some other ones, right? So this is SQL. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to do a summary again, right? To do a summary again, just understand that the SQL syntax, the idea is to say, if what you want to do is to retrieve the information from the database, the keyword is select. And that's why you will see that we have been saying select, right? Other ones are if you want to create, and I said that it's basically not common to say that we want to create tables, right? It's not very common to say we want to create tables, because that table, the table we are creating, the database we are creating, we can't be effective creating it manually, right? We would have had a system that helps us to collect that data, right, into the database, right? So what we'll do in most cases is to collect it from the database, is to retrieve it from the database. So that's why we use select more. Then the syntax goes this way: we select columns from table, right? We select columns, right? We select columns from tables, right? And then we use the other clause to filter it, to filter it appropriately. So after you said select something, 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 column, this column, this column, this from this particular table, then filter it this way. It's as simple as that. So the last part that we're going to look at in our class on Sunday, which is good. Of course, the Sunday is a 3 hours class, so we have enough time to look at so many things. So is to now say that, look at this awesome chocolate table, for example, right? If you look at this awesome chocolate table, you see that there are 4 tables in it. 4 tables in it, right? So if you want to fetch out information from this table, this particular table has geo region, right? Please pay attention. This is what we are going to do in the next class, right? This particular table also has several other columns, right? So I want to pick geo ID and region from this geo table, and I want to pick products and size from this product table. You can see that it is 2 tables that I want to pick information from at the same time in just one statement. How do I do it? Don't forget that the usual thing is to say select column from table, and it's always been single table. Just the column, all the columns that you want to select from just one table. But this time around, we are going to be referring to 2 or more tables at the same time. So that scenario in SQL is called join. So we want to learn how to join 2 or more tables together, right? Which is usually the common scenario that we'll be having, because all our tables, we can't always be dealing with only one table, from the database. There will always be more 10 tables that we want to draw information from at the same time. So dealing with one table, right, in the time past is just to get to the preliminary state to make us understand how the syntax and all of that. In the real world, we'll actually be working with, we'll actually be combining multiple tables together. I hope we understand how we've done so far. Any question up to this point? Any question up to this point? Okay, so if there is no question, I'm going to drop in fact, the database that we want to work with is already in I dropped it as one of the files that I gave us, from the beginning of the class. But because we've asked so many people joined us, after, so I'm going to share is the world database, right? So apparently that world database is already on our system by default. This is the world database, right? It's already on our system. If you check your database now, your schema, you will see world. The databases that comes with it is World, Sakila, and SIS. I don't have 6. You should have 6 on your own. So they are in your system. So you don't need to import the database again. It's already on the system. But I'm going to share the question with us, and let us just try to respond to the task in them. All right. So that is the end of the class for today. Once again, are there questions?
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
All right, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much, sir. I wanted to ask, I said, just wanted to confirm something, that whenever we want to, carry out a task, that we need to call out what we are looking for before we can work with it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Like, for example, when you were trying to call out, use, let me check my notes. while okay, chart list wildcard. Yes, when you wanted
Yes.
to use
When
that,
you are doing
it means
wildcard,
that
yes.
you have to first, yes, you have to first call out the chart list wildcard first before you were able to start selecting the information that you needed. So I wanted to
And
confirm that
I
if
didn't get that part.
whatever you
This
like, I
area,
wanted to
right?
confirm that yes, that whatever you want to do, you have to call out that let's say the code. Let me use the word code first before you can start sending the information that you're looking for. I don't know if you understand my question.
No, do you mean that do you need to always call out the table first like this?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh
Like
no,
for example, okay,
no, you do not need to always call it forth, right? I'm only doing that because I'm just creating those questions right on the go. You understand? That is
okay,
why. So
okay,
usually, right? Usually, what I started with that I explained to you is that, but if you need to query a database, the database will be given to you in two ways.
okay,
Either your MySQL workbench, the software in your system is connected to that database. And I showed you how to connect your stuff to the database. You give the information, you give it to the database engineer, and it's going to put in the password and login details, and you'll be connected to the database. Or the database, the database you want to work with, they want you to query, they will export it and give it to you. And you can now, import it into your MySQL workbench. Whichever way, you will see that database on this schema like this, right?
okay,
Just as we
all
see
right,
awesome chocolate. So what I said is that if you want to work with database like this, the first thing you should always learn to do is to first of all
okay,
come and see how it looks like on this schema. So
schema,
look
okay,
at the table, come and see all the tables that are in that database like this. Oh, it has
okay,
this geo
as
table.
the raw file,
So just look at it so that you'll be familiar with it. So you know, when you want to call write statements like this, you know the right
okay.
words to use and the right spelling. You understand? Checking it
Oh,
from here,
oh,
we give you, visibility into what you want to do. You understand?
okay,
It's just like
yes,
when I said in Excel class that if you want to analyze any data, when you open that data set, study it first and be sure that the data make meaning to you the same way.
okay,
You understand? So doing that,
yes,
you would have seen that, oh, that data set has 4 tables. And then you'd have gone down again to say, okay, this particular table has 3 columns. You'd have been familiar with it. So now that you
yes,
want to query now, so you already know what you want to query. So if they say select something from, you already know the table that you are picking it from, because a particular question will be given to you, just like I'm going to give a task now. You understand? You may not be able to, if I just give you the word database, you will obviously not know what to do with that database. But when I give you a task now, you know what to do. Take, for instance, you're a data analyst in Just Right, right? You're a data analyst in
yes,
Just Right. And you've been told that somebody make a purchase. Somebody came to the mall to buy something at this particular time. You understand?
okay,
And then
yes,
they have told you the name, and you don't know the name of the person, but they have told you what he bought. I mean, that is easy to know, right? He bought these
yes,
things, right? And maybe they tell you the name at the time he comes to buy it, right? And you want to know the name of that person. You understand? You most likely buy
yes,
with the make transfer or buy with the card, right? So when you look at the table, you already studied the table to see how the tables is being arranged. You understand? So you know that you are going to the name, the information of what is buying will go to a particular table. So you would have seen that, oh,
yes,
this is the name of that table. So you can now say select his name, because name is what they are looking for. Select his name and some other things that you want to get from that table. You understand? So you don't need to be told. Nobody
yes,
will tell you the name of the table. But coming to this schema to look at everything that is there will makes you know the name of the table. Then you can query it appropriately.
okay, that's well understood now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any other question? All right. So in the absence of any questions, we can call it a day at
Hello,
this
sir.
point. Thank you very
Sorry,
much, sir.
before
Yes,
we
sir.
call it a day.
All
Hello,
right,
sir.
sir.
Can you hear me?
I can
Okay.
hear you.
So for me now, I'm checking the database. You said there's one word database, and I can't find it on my own. I don't know if.
Okay, it's not on your own system, right?
Yes.
Okay, please share your screen first. Share your screen. Can you share screen?
I'm using. Let me see if I can share from my phone because I'm joining with my phone. So let me see.
Okay,
If I
you
can.
can do camera from your phone? I'm not sure you can do camera from your phone. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I don't think so, but let me try if it's possible.
So on the other hand, I will share the database with you also, so you can import it. That's also
Okay,
fine.
that's fine.
Right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I will share the database with you, so you can import it into the SQL. Then you can work with it. Any other question?
Thank you, sir. None from me. That's fine.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah. Any other person? All right. So in the absence of any question, I think it
Hello?
will be good to. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Okay, sir. I can hear you.
I could not see your screen. Your screen is blur. I can only follow what you are saying. I can't see your screen at all throughout. At least for the
Throughout
past
the
1 hour.
class. Oh, okay. So it
Yes,
means
in
we
the
need
last
to.
1 hour.
All right. So it means we need to look at
I
that class
don't know
again.
if you send me the
video.
The class, but then
Obviously, we'll share the video. I know you just joined us today,
yes,
right? But then
yes.
we've been in the class for even before this
Yeah.
particular class started. So you are a genius in this
Yeah,
class already.
yeah.
So I will share with you. I will share with
Huh?
you, and then I will share the video. We'll share the video of this class together, and we can see it together. And if we need to have another class,
okay.
I'll schedule it with you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Any other question or any other person? All right. So where there is no question, then we can call it a day at this point. Thank you, everyone. Good to have you. It's good to have this session with us together again. So I will see you on Sunday. But meanwhile, I will share a task that we can work with until Sunday. Thank you, everyone. So let's call it a day.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, sir.